Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our season three. And as a great start, it is my pleasure to introduce Ms. Nikhar Baranwal, an accomplished legal professional who is currently serving as an Assistant Public Prosecutor with the Government of Jharkhand. Ms. Baranwal completed her BA LL.B from Law College Dehradun and went on to pursue her LL.M in criminal law from Punjabi University, Patiala, where she graduated with first class distinction as university topper and gold medalist. She qualified the UGC NET with an impressive 97.76 percentile. Her professional journey reflects a rich mix of litigation, academics, and public service. She has also served as a faculty member at ICFAI University. In her current role as an assistant public prosecutor at the district courts Ranchi, she represents the state in magisterial courts, handling prosecution work and contributing to the administration of justice at the ground level. We welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Man, your initial education is from Amritsar. You completed your BLLB from Dehradun and your LLM from Patiala. And today you are an additional public prosecutor in Jharkhand. Please tell us about your journey.
Okay. Thank you for the very nice introduction. And so the journey has been good so far. So I'll tell you from the beginning. So as a student in the school, I used to be very nerd kind, very obedient, notes making, right from the very beginning. So I pursued interests in classical dancing as a side of my
Oh,
subjects. And later I developed interest to study science in my 11th and 12th standard.
okay.
After that, I started pursuing law as my studies for graduation. So it is basically an integrated course, BLLB, where
Right.
you save a year by doing two graduations kind.
Mhm.
So through my legal education in Dehradun, I learned from people around me who were already well acquainted with the career that they're going to pursue after the education. And that
Oh,
kind of evoked this thing in me that either I'm going to do the public service or I will pursue
oh,
the litigation.
right.
So that is what I learned. So this journey where I went to different states, different colleges, met different people of different culture, that has made me the person who I am today. So it has given me really good lessons, hard ones, soft ones, both. So,
Right. And my second question stems from that. So, coming from Punjab, did you face any language barriers while practicing in Jharkhand? And how did you overcome it?
yeah, language is a great barrier, of course, when you shift from a
Mm.
state to another,
Mm.
especially at such a long length of distance. So I'll tell you a very interesting thing. So when I took this exam of APP in Jharkhand, so the advertisement already mentioned that there is one local language to be prepared, and there was going to be a subjective examination. So unless you
Oh,
qualify that language exam, you don't qualify for this service only. Your other papers
okay.
won't be checked. So that was a very strict mandate in the advertisement, which basically actually restricted a lot of people from different states from taking this exam. But
Mm.
I took it hard. I took
Yeah.
this challenge, and then I started searching online the various local languages, the tribal languages actually they are Khota,
Right.
Santhali, and lot of them. You can just see it online. So I picked one language which actually, in the verse, it kind of resembles Bhojpuri, but it is written in Devanagari script, the way we write Hindi.
Right.
So yeah, so I took the exam and I learned Khortha language, and then
Mm.
I took the mains, and eventually the hard work has paid off, and I qualified the exam with the first rank. So yes, the language barrier is always there, but if you have intention to break down and then break down the struggles that are coming your way,
Mm.
and you want to do something, you do it. And as a
Right.
public prosecutor, when I meet people here, the local people coming from villages and they have cases filed in the civil court, I try to
Right.
understand. Like in a sentence, they speak, I understand 2 to 3 words, but then I break
Mm.
them down and I try to figure out. And then yes, I am always willing to learn different languages. So I'm learning Santhali and Nagpuri. I've also
Even
taken one.
today?
Yes.
Yeah.
And as a
All right.
departmental exam, which is a mandate, I tell you,
Mm.
I've also, so there is also one tribe here which is called Mundari. And I have
Okay.
learned Mundari to write as well
Wow.
as to speak. So Mundari language also I took the exam, which I have passed again. And now I'm learning Spanish, just an extra knowledge. So I am a huge fan of learning different languages because I like to talk to people from different culture, and it just gives me a very strange and very good kind of kick that yes, I want to understand the other person even when I'm not understanding their language. So yes, I
Wow.
overcome it with my interest, and I think it's the way to go. If you want to do something, you
Right.
do it. However,
Yeah. Right.
yes.
So for law graduates aspiring to become public prosecutors like you, what exam skills and practical experience should they focus on to prepare themselves effectively?
Okay. So I will focus on the word effectively. Why? Because this is where most of the candidates fail to understand. So you
Mm.
don't have to become a legal expert to take the exam for APP or maybe judicial services as well, because that those are
Okay.
two prominent areas that law graduates pursue after the
Mm. Right.
graduation.
Yeah.
So you need to understand and crack the strategy of clearing the exam, not to become a legal expert. If you want to become a legal expert,
Right. Yeah.
go study PhD, become a good
Yeah.
professor in national law universities. That's the way to go.
Yeah.
But if you want to clear the exam, thoroughly read the syllabus. First, you
Mm.
should know the syllabus. When you know the syllabus, half the work is done. I tell you. So
Mm.
when you read the syllabus, you know what to study and what not to.
Mm.
And
Right.
when you see the previous year exams, you know the level of questions that are going to come. GSGK is a tricky part. And states like
Okay.
UP and Jharkhand, they are very picky about questions of their GSGK. So for that, you should subscribe to good monthly magazines, read newspapers daily, and
Right.
some books like Arihant, Lucent. Uh, these
Mm.
books are good for GS. And then understand the stages of the exams. So first, it asks you preliminary tests, preliminary exams, as we say. It's a
Okay.
multiple choice objective test
Mm.
where you have to be smarter than the hard worker. Then second comes mains. So in mains, you need to practice as many answers as you can. So what happens actually is people just try to learn and get a lot of material from different sources, especially
Right.
generations
The-
these days.
Right. Right.
We learn from YouTube also. We'll subscribe to
Yeah.
some channels in Zoom also. Then there is this study material. Then there is this
Yeah.
study material. This is from Mumbai. This is from Delhi. This is from no.
Yes.
Don't do that. You stick to one and then you revise it again and again. Because when you have lot of material in your head and when you're
Mm.
sitting in the exam hall to write the answer, you never do that correctly. Why? Because there
Right.
are 100 things running in your mind and you have to write only 10 sentences,
Mm.
and that is the correct answer. So these are little small things basically, but this is the I think this is the code that I have cracked for every
Yeah.
exam. Whichever ones I have cleared, I have tried to figure out the way to clear the exam and not to become a legal expert and call myself some um, I mean, some educator kind of person who would know just everything. No, you don't need to know everything.
Yes.
You just need to know the things that are going to be asked. Simple.
Mm. Right.
So I think
And
focus should be, yeah,
yeah, to effectively do it, that's these are the key things that you need to keep in
yes,
mind. Right.
yeah.
And can you tell us about the selection process for the post of public prosecutor and how you prepared for it? Were there any particular books or materials or coaching you relied on while preparing for this exam?
Okay, so I will tell you very honestly. I was doing my LL.M, Masters of Law from Punjabi University, Patiala, when this advertisement for APP in Jharkhand came out.
Okay.
And I completed my master's. And I think I was appearing for my fourth semester, my final
Mm.
exams, when the
Okay.
mains exam for this APP had announced their dates.
Oh,
So So I won't say that it requires some like 20 hours or maybe 10 hours of studying or some coaching. You can do it yourself. You just need to be honest with yourself. Not
Mm,
like you see the clock and you know, I sat at 12 and now it's 5 p.m. I should just get up.
mm,
You should know how many productive hours did you give to the books. Secondly, uh, be very thorough with the monthly magazines, which provide you the current affairs. So whichever year
mm.
the exam you take for the following year and for the previous year,
Previous year.
you
All
prepare
right.
for the current affairs. Yes. For monthly magazines, you can go to the traditional Pratyogita Darpan. That's always there.
Right.
As I told you already, Arihant and Lucent, those books do very well. And a
Mm,
lot of people subscribe to Ghatna Chakra also. But since it comes in Hindi, I don't know if it comes in English now, but since Ghatna Chakra comes in Hindi, I never read that book. But I hear it from people that they have read for GSGK. For law, just revolve around your bare acts, cover to
mm.
cover, page to page, word to word. Don't leave out anything. If you do that, no paper is going to slip away from your hand. That is to be sure of. And you asked
Right.
about the stage as well, right? As I already
Right.
mentioned, so for Jharkhand, there is a preliminary test as the first test for the exam. They ask you two papers, one GSGK and second is law. And I think
In
both of
prelims
them carry,
itself. In prelims
yes, in the
itself, you have
preliminary
two
exam.
papers.
It's a
All right.
two-day exam.
Oh, it's a
So for the
2 day
first,
exam, not even the one day. Like they don't schedule
no,
it
no, no.
different. They
They
do
give
it a
you 2 days.
different day. And each
Yes,
paper is how long?
2 hours.
Oh, all right.
100
Okay.
questions in GSGK, 1 mark
Okay.
each. And in law, they give you 2 marks per correct answer. And I think 150 questions for law, 100 for GS and 150 for law.
2 marks for the correct answer and negative marking will be
I think there was no
that.
negative marking
All right.
that time.
That's wonderful to
It
know.
is
Okay.
a great edge. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So after you make it to the list in your
Hmm.
prelims, you appear for your mains. Now you'll be surprised to know that there are 9 exams you take for APP in
Wow.
Jharkhand. That's the largest number of papers you take for prosecution service all across the India.
Wow.
So that involves your English, Hindi, essay, minor acts, then CRPC evidence, IPC, Constitution. They leave nothing. So you need to be just adept in every subject, like literally in every subject.
And this mains exam happens in one day.
No, no, 9 exams you can't take in one
Nine
day. So
exams,
there are
9 days? No.
two sittings.
All right.
So
Same
two
again, the
exams
same
per
two
day.
sitting. Okay. Okay.
Yes, so 4.5 days.
All right. All right.
Yes. Yes. And
Wow.
then if you make it to the list in the mains exam, then you appear for the interview.
Personal interview.
Yes. So personal interview, there may be a panel for of 4 members or 5 members. Each of
Hmm.
them ask you questions depending on how you respond to your introduction and first answers. And then,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Right.
So interview is very subjective, very personal. It is different for everybody. So I can't say much
You
about
cannot
the.
have one mantra for the interview.
Yes,
It's
yes,
just different.
yes. Yes,
All
just
right.
relax and be nice.
Right.
Hmm.
And now, since that you have crossed all those hurdles, what are the
Hmm.
challenges that you face while preparing for a case as an APP? And how do you find a breakthrough to those challenges?
Okay. So challenges are actually numerous,
Mm.
and some involve the kind of system that we have in our country, which is a very unfortunate state of affairs. And second, the accountability of people who are in the service. Both are different actually. So to
Right,
know the
right,
challenges, so to know the challenges, we must understand the work of prosecution in just a few sentences. So when a crime happens, the first stage is reporting the crime to the police station. That's FIR,
right,
first information report.
right.
Thereafter, police does the investigation of the offense. And then they submit the charge sheet. in the court. After submitting the charge sheet, the role of the prosecutor comes.
Okay.
Then we are responsible for the entire trial that happens afterwards.
Mm.
Now, the first challenge that as a prosecutor I face is that the charge sheet does not come through me. This is not submitted through the prosecutor. So whatever the
Oh.
police has put the charges, we have to go by that. And you see that there is a larger likelihood of things not going the right way.
Mm.
We know
Right.
a lot of things happen because of the caste factors, because of the economic parity between the people, and a lot of things that may happen in police station. And sometimes especially in Jharkhand, I would say the investigation wing is not different from law and order as it is in Delhi and Punjab. So the police is divided into two wings. So the investigation wing has good officers, good police officers who are only carrying out the work of investigation, and there are
Okay.
others who do the law and order work. For example, if any VIP is traveling, or some festivals are being
Oh.
organized, some fair is being held in the city, then to maintain the law and order. But in Jharkhand, just things are just hybrid. So good officers are doing law and order work, and the remaining constable, head constable, and sometimes ASIs, they are made witnesses to the investigation. So you can know there is a good likelihood that the investigation can go faulty. So this is a major challenge. Second is that people from rural places do
Mm.
not know about our posts. So they understand it by our uniforms that
Right.
they are advocates only.
Right.
So the problem is they aren't aware who to go to. They come to the court, they ask, they meet some advocate, and then they will, just come around, go around, and then eventually they meet us, and then they know it. And by the time
Mm.
they reach us, they're already manipulated, and manipulated in a way that sometimes they are made to compromise because of again economic disparity between the parties, or the caste factor which prevails a lot in Bihar, Jharkhand, these places. So yes, there are numerous challenges, and how do I overcome them? Talk to people.
Mm.
Whoever comes to me, whoever seeks my advice, or when they are aware enough to present themselves, then I make sure that I'm telling them the entire procedure. That this is the way you should go. You should call your witnesses. You give me
Mm.
their numbers. I'll call them. I will not stick
No.
to the traditional methods of just sending them the notice by paper, because that takes months to reach them. What I instead choose
Really? Even
to just
today it takes months?
yes, 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 it takes. You will not believe, if you ever visit some police station, you will see the court notices filled in sacks, and they're still not delivered to the witnesses. So if I'm sending a notice on 1st October, it will reach him by December or maybe next year. How can you expect him to appear on the next day in November?
Right.
So, so there are a lot of practical difficulties, but since mobiles are handy now, and WhatsApp is the main
Mm.
source
Yes.
by people can contact each other. So I make that effort to just try to reach out to the witnesses, and then I prepare them. Uh, Even government is also trying, I would say, they're also developing proper infrastructure. Like vulnerable witnesses room are being
Right.
uh, made so that they can be prepared, especially in case of sexual harassment cases.
Yeah, it's very
It's really
important.
very important for the women to feel secure and safe before they actually depose their statements before the court. So yes, things are improving gradually, but as a public officer, I would suggest everybody to do a little more on their parts, and that would improve the entire system eventually.
Hmm. Right. My next two questions actually rise from your thing, the statement that you said. So, in your experience, do victims, especially from marginalized communities, like you were talking about those tribals, get
Hmm.
adequate, do they get adequate support during the prosecution process? And where do you think the system succeeds and where does it fail? Just like you said about the system of servicing and all, what are the other things that fail and what are the other things that you think that no, they're succeeding also?
Okay. So, especially victims from the marginalized societies, they always redress to the government offices for their
Mm,
grievances, that's for sure. So when they come to the office and we are able to, uh, I mean, answer their questions, how the smaller offenses are going to go, what should be the criteria, how should the witnesses be called upon, how should they not be deceived by the other advocates just because we share the
mm,
same uniform, yes, and how
mm,
they should not be losing money also, which is the
mm.
main part, right? Because this is public service, and the main thing in the head of the people is when you go to a government office, you always have to, bribe, or
Oh,
maybe, yes,
oh,
which is a
right.
very critical thing to say also.
Mm,
But eventually, I think people are changing. At least I see colleagues in my batch that it's not the same now. Their
mm,
grievances are addressed, and those applications that used to take months before, they don't take even 2 to 3 days. So the justice delivery has also accelerated for sure. And even people are also becoming very aware because of the impact of social media, I would say.
mm.
Because now
Right.
when you tell them what applications are we going to file and what result is it going to make on your
Immunity.
case, they understand it, and
Mm,
they cooperate with you also. And one specific thing about tribal people I will tell you is, although there is a little difficulty in understanding them because of the language, but as I told you, language is no more a barrier for
mm,
me here
mm.
in Jharkhand. But those people are really innocent. Like, the thing we say about people in the hilly areas, the mountainous people,
Yeah.
very innocent people, and you can just tell them and they will believe you. So if I tell them that I'm going to deliver justice to you, you bring
They'll
me two
believe
to
it.
three witnesses, they believe me. They believe me and they religiously believe me. So this is one thing that keeps us also going, when we see
Right.
the that we instill in people, they are actually inculcating in their hearts. That also is a kind of push every day.
Mm,
Yes, system fails for a lot of reasons. I told you there can be a faulty investigation. There are
mm,
number of false cases. I tell you, just to keep their ego alive, people file false cases in the police station, and then there is a huge burden on the police officers also. So
mm.
you see, every sub inspector in a good police station has a duty of investigating into more than 100 cases, and you see, those charge sheets have to be filed in 60 to 90 days. So in 2 to 3 months, they
Wow.
have to carry out investigation in more than 100 cases. And those cases may be a murder case, a rape case, an assault case, or NDPS, or excise matters.
Do
Uh,
even petty cases also fall into this bundle? I mean,
yes, yes.
while they're investigating the
Yes, the
murders and
cases
rapes
for
also and petty cases
wrongful.
also.
Yes, yes, for wrongful
Mm.
confinement and criminal intimidation and those 504 cases,
Right.
504 IPC.
Right.
So, all these cases which are filed, they are, allocated to different investigation officers. So they are also heavily burdened with the
Mm.
work, and then law and order kicks in. Somewhere they are maybe in other state to arrest some accused, and here some VIPs arriving in Ranchi, and then
Right.
come back, they have to deliver the duty as well. So we cannot blame any wing of the state particularly
Mm.
for any kind of failure that we face, but somehow with the limited number of resources that the state has, we try to cope up and do the best as we can. Yeah.
Right. And since you have practiced in the courts of Punjab and Jharkhand, what differences have you noticed while practicing in them?
Okay. So Punjab is very close to me. And
Right.
as we see it on the screen, on the large screen, we know Punjab is very different from the entire country actually. It's
Yeah.
very, I think happiness index only tells the kind of state it is. But when
Right.
it comes to practicing, there is a different kind of professionalism there.
Mm.
And the people, since it's a rich state, I'll tell you, since Punjab is a
Mm.
rich state, so
Right.
people are not backward there. They may be
Mm.
educationally backward, but they're not socially backward.
Right, right, right.
That gives them an edge over people of other states. So they have laid their hands on good devices, social
Mm.
media. Yeah, they
Right.
have an
Mm.
access to government offices more readier than the people of other states.
Mm.
Here, barriers are more. So yes, people are more aware there, and it was a good kind of work practicing. It did not feel like you were into something that involved a lot of criminals. As my family actually used to be very scared when I was doing this practice with my senior, who was a very good criminal lawyer in Chandigarh. So he used to be like, my parents used to be like really worried about it, but it never felt like that. But in Jharkhand, you feel that, because
Mm.
one thing that people do not understand, uh, the things, the critical part of the law and the procedure of the law, even they do not understand sometimes the normal conversation that is happening between a advocate and a judicial officer. So there is a larger chance that they can be manipulated. So something else is happening in the court, and sometimes
And
advocates guide
some,
them differently. Yes.
oh,
And
like something
especially
else
with
only is told to them.
yeah, something else is only told to them. So I am telling them that you only have to call your witnesses. You just tell me the
Mm.
story and I will prove your case. And they'll be like, no, no, our advocate has guided us differently. So, so the practice is also kind of unfair, which I've
Mm.
seen here. And since I told you, the social system in Jharkhand is so different from that of Punjab, so there is a difference in practicing also. So only because those only people are advocates, no,
Right,
the people of society are only advocates. So if
right,
they are
right.
exercising any casteism policy or some schemes to maybe look down upon somebody, that is going to be
Mm.
reflected in the courts as well. So yes, there are those things that come my way, but I have actually learned to live the hard way, is what I will say now, after getting educated in so many states and
Right.
cities. Yeah.
That's an added benefit to you in some way.
Yes,
Right.
it is for sure. Yes.
Right. Judicial delays and case pendency are major issues in India, no matter what the state is. From a
Yes.
prosecutor's point of view, what practical steps could help speed up these criminal trials without compromising justice?
We have phones. Everybody has phones now. So just like I told, uh, phone numbers, correct phone numbers should
Mm.
be uh, laid in the chat sheet. Once that is mentioned, it makes the work very easy. Then there is
Mm.
no delay of 5, 7 months or 2 years and 3 years. Then at least petty offenses like 350, sorry, 341, 343, these
Mm.
cases that involves beatings and all that, just abusing. At least these cases can be disposed of soon. Secondly,
Ah,
officers should be held more accountable. The government service should not be seen as a traditional and orthodox approach, that
mm.
once you've got the service, you just lay back, relax, and then that should not be approach anymore. So a proper accountability should
Mm.
be held for all the public servants.
Right.
It can be done very easily, and then obviously it's a positive result will be reflected in the judicial delivery system also. Third, I would say as a prosecutor that this scheme of submitting the charge sheet without passing it through the public prosecutor should change. Because
Hmm.
after we see it from a legal point of view, we are able to put the right charges on the accused.
Hmm.
Because otherwise, there is already we are getting a lot of false cases. Fourth,
Right.
uh, the guidance to the informant should be right. So, for example, in a lot of cases, we are seeing these 498A cases, for example,
Right. Hmm.
or for in cases where it involves cheating, whereas it actually is a breach of promise of marriage. So, these two are
Hmm.
cases are on their maximum hike. Okay, something wrong
Okay.
happens, and then 498A cases are filed.
Right.
These matters should be curbed from the beginning while redressing them properly. Mediation should be conducted properly. Mediation is a very good way
Hmm.
of settling the disputes without going into the critical parts of the trial, because it actually does not require. Advocates sometimes make the petitions in a way that they look dangerous, and then there is more
Right.
hostility between the parties, which is a
Right.
fact. So that should not be done. The problem should be mitigated rather than accelerated, or maybe made it
Right.
larger. So that approach should change. Uh, and then witnesses also must also be in a way, like vulnerable witnesses rooms are made,
Hmm.
so they must
Hmm.
also feel secured, and something needs to make sure that they are safe, they are secured, and they won't be killed after they depose in the court.
Hmm.
So
Right.
such things, such infrastructure should always be encouraged. Those
Hmm.
guarantees must be there. Otherwise, there will not be any witness to any case for that matter. And then it will collapse the entire criminal administration system
Right.
only.
Right. Right.
Yes. So at every stage, I would say there are things, small things to be changed, but they are necessary for proper disposal and honest disposal and speedy disposal, all three at the same time.
Right, that was a great insight into your APP life. Thank you.
Yeah,
Ma'am,
thank
you're
you.
also a net qualified with an amazing score of 97.76 percentile. Can you please
Thank
guide
you.
our viewers as to how you prepared for this exam and some tips might work on?
Okay, so I'll tell you. Again, you have to crack the strategy of clearing the exam.
Mm.
Again, you are not a professor while you are appearing for the UGC NET exam. So you go through the syllabus again. So there is paper one and paper two. If I take UGC NET for law, so paper one has 50 questions. 50 questions coming from 10 chapters. 10
Mm.
chapters where there is, I think, legal methodology, research methodology. Then there is one chapter for uh, name of universities. I mean,
Okay.
theoretical chapter. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And it involves quant. So, as a science student, I have a strong command over quant, like
Right.
maths, reasoning abilities, and those things.
Mm.
So, I think that gave me a really good edge over others, because in my paper one, scored actually 80% of the marks. So, out of 50, I had 40 right questions. And in the law, obviously, you get 60 to 70% right questions if you've done well. So UGC NET basically needs a good planned hours of study. There is
Mm.
no concept building in UGC NET, I tell you, because they ask you IPR, intellectual property rights, then they ask you, I think, partnership. They'll ask you company law. So these basically bare acts, these legislative acts require more of learning, understanding, and learning the sections. That
Mm.
is where it gets difficult. UGC NET gets difficult because of this. Because for judiciary, we prepare for these laws. Like we focus more on CPC, CRPC,
Mm.
evidence, and
Mm.
SOGA, IPA, and those things. But UGC NET asks you altogether very different kind of subjects. But you
Mm.
should give a planned hours of study and learn them by heart. If you do that and keep your quant strong, UGC NET is, I mean, not easy, but yes,
No,
it's good
but
to
it's not
crack.
difficult to crack. Won't be easy, but
Yes,
it won't be difficult.
yes. So
Ma'am,
you need
after,
to understand the exam. You need to
right.
understand the exam before clearing the exam. If you
Mm,
see it as an exam and you just start studying, it won't get you anywhere.
right.
Go through the syllabus. The answer is right there. So that is
Mm.
what I have flagged, and then I think it has worked for me. And I hope it works for everyone out there.
So if I have to summarize, so
Hmm.
it just know the syllabus, the answer is right there. That will be your keyword
Yes,
for all the people, for all
yes,
the students who are preparing for it.
yes, yes. Please
Right.
do that and see the previous papers. See how that state is focusing on what subjects, what topics. Sometimes you are able, if you're smart enough
Mm.
to understand the approach of the state from the subjects they ask, you are able to
Mm.
understand the topics also they ask you. So you have, but you have to make that effort. You
Mm.
don't have to just blindly go through the books again and again and then again
Mm.
supplying for getting different articles, different materials
Mm.
from all the different channels and online and offline. I don't recommend any of these things. Stick to the basics, revise and revise, revise and revise, and practice writing as much as you can. We won't, nobody will believe, actually, nobody believes actually, and until I show them. I have written the entire CRPC and evidence and IPC Dare Act 4 times after learning them, just for the APP exam. Because since it
Wow.
was this was exam for Jharkhand and I was in Patiala doing my
Mm.
masters, I did
Right.
not have access to a lot of material. And since it was Patiala, so a lot of things were also not available there. So I was like, okay, all I have is a bare act, and I'm not going to leave a thing out of it.
Four
And that
times,
also,
yes. It's
and that,
quite difficult to believe.
yes, it's insane. I know, but you have to do it. And yes,
Yeah, you
uh,
have to.
before I forget it, so Jharkhand asks you minor acts also. So there were, I think, 16 to 17 minor acts that Jharkhand
Oh,
asked mains exam. Yes.
and they're equally
Uh,
important, even if they're
yes,
all
yes,
right. If
they carry
even if they're
equal
numbered,
weightage.
right, right, right.
Yes, they carry equal weightage. So you have dowry prohibition. Then there is one very special act here, Witchcraft Act. It's called Dine Act.
Right, right,
Uh,
right.
yes. And then there is IT Act. Then there is
Mm.
Prevention of Food and Adulteration,
Mm.
Prevention of Corruption. So all these minor acts, basically 16 or 17 in number. So these you have to prepare for minor acts. So keep
Right.
reading the bare acts, keep writing. So just like that, if you do your minor acts nicely, that helps you fetch more marks in your mains exam.
Right. And after clearing NET, you had joined ICFAI University as a professor. Can you give us an
Yes.
insight on the selection process and the questions you faced in the interview, and some tips on how to prepare for the interview and what to expect in such interviews?
Okay. So when I joined ICFAI University as an assistant professor, uh, you actually need to convince your interviewers as to why you want to teach. Because especially when you have done something else previously. For example, I had entered the litigation already, and then I was taking a few of the exams, and suddenly I qualified for UGC NET, and then I was taking interview. Sorry, I was appearing for the interview in ICFAI University. So you have to tell how willing you are there to teach, and then you will not leave the institution just like that, and how uh, persistent and willing you are. Basically, you just have to clarify your intentions, is what I perceive from the interviews, because interviews are meant for this purpose only.
Hmm.
Wherever they are, they want to know you as a person, so they have checked your merits. Now they want to know you, the kind of person you are.
Hmm.
So maybe 100 people know laws properly, but out of them only 10 will be able to teach.
Right.
So teaching is a skill. Yes. So you have to basically show if you have had some experience. So I was asked these same questions and I answered them in a way because I had also taught in IELTS institutes basically. And I also used to teach students from my neighborhood. And it was not like just like normal teaching. I used to teach them very I used to put a lot of efforts actually,
Mm.
and I improved grades of a few students as well from my neighborhood. So yes, teaching was has always been a secret passion. I always find students around me, and then I'm able to share my knowledge and then also learn from them because always you get a modern perspective about taking things. So so that is how you have to tell because at this age you can't expect yourself to be some learned professor from NLUs or DUs, right? So you have to show that flexibility in you,
Mm.
that yes, you're flexible to put more hard work, and if it requires to deal with the students of 60, 80, or maybe 100, especially of this time,
Mm.
you're able to do that. You can show a stricter face of you, and then you can be lenient while you're teaching them. So that patience is a great skill that involves in teaching. So basically, you have to answer in a way that they are able to know you, that you will be able to fulfill the duties that they are going to bestow upon you. Yeah, I think that's a way to go in all kinds of interviews, whatever they require.
Right.
Yeah.
And what little I can assume from the conversation we had is that I think education has been the key for you, right? Be it from your neighborhood
Yes.
to being the additional
Yes.
public prosecutor. I think education has been your key, which has helped you in
Yes.
your place. And
Yes. And I also used to learn a lot from people around me.
right, right.
So, yes. So if I have seen people doing mistakes, maybe professionally or personally, I
Mm.
would just try to inculcate and I will just try to learn from them and not repeat them in my life. Although we all have had, I think, roller coasters in our lives, we all go through crests and troughs, but eventually you have to take them as a learning,
Right.
and and it's all about feeling positive about yourself within and without, this is what I understand. So whichever field you go, whatever you do, uh, you need to keep learning, keep your ego down and confidence high,
Mm.
and you'll always be successful no matter what.
Yeah, and with that note of positivity that you just mentioned, finally, what message would you like to give our young lawyers who want to work for justice and to citizens who often feel disillusioned with the criminal justice system?
Yes. Number one, keep faith in
Mm.
the justice system. Judges, prosecutors are appointed for the same. Police is working for you. So keep faith and please do not report false cases.
Mm.
For law graduates,
Difficult with people these days.
yes, yes. And for law graduates, uh, be consistent and true and honest in what you do. Don't do litigation because you want to follow a good senior. Don't join a good big corporate firm because you want to put it on your LinkedIn or Facebook. You want to brag that you're part of that firm. Don't do that. Do litigation because you want to learn,
Mm.
and learn from every member of the law chamber you have joined. Learn from the munshi, learn from the clerk, learn from the colleagues, learn from the juniors, learn from the seniors. Keep learning, and while you learn, keep implementing them as well.
Mm.
Keep yourselves updated. Subscribe to some good legal updates which are available online, Keep reading landmark judgments. Keep yourself like well versed with laws as well as judgments. So this is a way to go good about your litigation. And if you want to join services in prosecution or in judiciary, then for judiciary now it's a mandate. Supreme Court has recently announced a mandate for 3 years litigation before the judiciary. For
Hmm.
prosecution, it's not there. So if you want to take these exams, be honest to your hard work is what I will say. Even while you're practice your answer writing, see the clock and then don't put your head up. Just write the answer for 15-20 minutes what you've decided and then just end it there only, because that keeps a check and balance system within yourself.
Hmm.
So keep testing yourself every day. You don't have to become uh, 0 to 10 in a day. It will take its own time. So let time do the work and you do your work.
Right.
And, and that is how you're all going to succeed in your lives.
Right. Thank you so much, ma'am. You've been incredibly kind and generous with your time and guidance here today. We really, really do
Thank,
appreciate it. Thank you so much. And we wish you the very best for your journey.
thank you so much. It was pleasure talking to you, Ritu. And I hope all our viewers get some right message from my conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.